Stubborn fat isn't always about diet or exercise. Sometimes the real problem is hidden deep inside your body. Today, we'll uncover a powerful way to address it safely and naturally. Imagine spending months trying to lose that stubborn fat around your waist, only to find that no matter how clean your diet is, no matter how much you move, your body just refuses to let go of it. What if I told you the roadblock isn't necessarily in your workout plan or in the calories you count, but in one of the most hard-working organs in your body, your liver? Now, before we go further, I want you to know something. By the end of this journey together, I'm going to share a bonus tip, a little-known natural ingredient that can significantly boost your liver's ability to do its job, and in turn, help your body release that stubborn fat more easily. But there's more. If you don't take care of what I'm about to reveal, you might be setting yourself up for consequences that go far beyond aesthetics. We're talking about a chain reaction inside your body that affects how you feel, how you think, and even how your body protects itself. Let's start with a truth that surprises most people. Your liver is the ultimate multitasker. It's not just a filter. It's your body's central processing hub for toxins, hormones, nutrients, and fats. Every sip of coffee, every bite of dessert, every breath of city air passes through its gates in some way. When it works smoothly, your metabolism hums like a well-tuned engine. But when it's overloaded, things start to slow, and fat storage becomes your body's default setting. The typical North American lifestyle, with its quick breakfasts on the go, high-sugar snacks, late-night fast food runs, and weekend indulgences, puts a constant demand on the liver. Layer that with environmental toxins, from cleaning products, air pollution, and even some tap water contaminants, and you've got an organ that's working overtime every single day. Imagine never taking a day off from your most exhausting task and still being expected to perform at 100%. That's what many livers are facing right now. When your liver gets congested, it's not a literal traffic jam you can see. It's a slowdown in its ability to break down and move out waste and excess fat. Your bloodstream can become a holding space for substances that should have been processed and eliminated. This can make your cells more resistant to the hormones that regulate fat burning, leaving you feeling like no matter what you try, the scale won't budge. What's even more surprising is how quietly this can happen. There may be no pain, no alarming symptoms, just a gradual, stubborn resistance to weight loss. And that's where the hidden danger lies. Because by the time stronger symptoms appear, the process has often been in motion for years. This is exactly why taking proactive, natural, and safe steps to support your liver's health isn't optional if you want to see lasting results. Small, consistent changes in diet, hydration, and daily habits can lighten your liver's load and help restore its full capacity. Think of it as finally letting the most overworked employee in your body take a deep breath and function at their best again. I'll walk you through how this happens and the exact steps you can take, but first, you need to truly understand the crucial role this organ plays in your body's fat-burning machinery. Because without that knowledge, every other effort will feel like pushing a boulder uphill. The next insight is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could also set the stage for health setbacks you'd rather avoid. Your liver is not just an organ. It's a full-scale operations center, silently running hundreds of functions every single day without asking for recognition. It regulates energy, manages hormone balance, processes nutrients, neutralizes toxins, and yes, plays a starring role in fat metabolism. If you imagine your body as a city, your liver is both the recycling plant and the waste disposal service, keeping everything flowing and in balance. Every morsel of food you eat and every sip you take is processed here. Fats are broken down into forms your body can use for energy, and excess is either stored or eliminated. But here's the key. When the liver is overworked or undernourished, the fat-burning process slows down, not just in theory, but in real, measurable ways. The modern North American diet doesn't make this any easier. Deep-fried meals, high-fructose corn syrup, sugary drinks, heavily processed snacks, and oversized portions create a constant inflow of substances that require heavy processing. On top of that, regular alcohol consumption, even in moderate amounts, puts the liver into overdrive. Your body prioritizes breaking down alcohol over burning fat, and while it's busy with that job, fat metabolism takes a back seat. What's even more interesting and troubling is that the liver doesn't just process what you eat. It also detoxifies substances from your environment, chemicals from cleaning agents, air pollution from traffic, and even residues from certain plastics in food packaging. Each of these adds to the workload, and over time, your liver's efficiency can quietly decline. When this happens, you might notice subtle changes. Perhaps your energy dips in the afternoon. Maybe your skin loses some of its natural glow. You could feel bloated more often, or notice that no matter how disciplined your workouts are, fat seems to cling to the same areas. These are early whispers from your liver, letting you know it's time for some attention. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. When you begin to lighten the liver's burden, the results can ripple through your entire body. Hormones that regulate hunger and fat storage become more balanced. Energy production increases. Even your mood and mental clarity can improve. That's because your liver is deeply connected not just to physical metabolism, but to the chemical balance that influences how you feel day to day. This connection between liver health and stubborn fat isn't a loose theory. It's backed by an understanding of how your body prioritizes processes. If your liver is overloaded, fat burning is not at the top of the list. But when you take steps to restore its function, your body naturally shifts into a more balanced, fat-burning state. The strategies to get there are not extreme or unsafe. In fact, they're about returning to simple, nourishing habits that work with your body's natural design. Before we get into those, though, there's a specific sign you may be overlooking, one that could reveal just how much your liver is struggling. The next insight is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could also set the stage for health setbacks you'd rather avoid. Sometimes the body speaks in a whisper long before it shouts. A liver that's becoming congested rarely sends dramatic warnings at first. Instead, it leaves small clues scattered throughout your daily life, clues so easy to dismiss that most people simply brush them off as normal or just getting older. But these subtle signs are worth paying attention to, because they can be the first indicators that your metabolism is not running at full capacity. You might start noticing a persistent fatigue, even after a full night's sleep. Mornings don't feel as sharp as they used to, and there's a lingering fog that takes longer to clear. Perhaps your digestion seems sluggish. Heavier meals leave you feeling weighed down for hours, and bloating becomes a regular visitor. Your skin might lose some of its natural radiance, showing dryness or dullness that no moisturizer seems to fix. These changes can happen so gradually that they blend into your routine, making it hard to connect them to one source. One of the most surprising connections is between liver congestion and your ability to focus. The liver plays a role in regulating the chemical balance of your blood, which directly influences brain function. When it's overloaded, you may experience more frequent brain fog, reduced concentration, and slower recall. For many, this is just chalked up to stress or busyness. But the underlying reason could be the liver's reduced efficiency in filtering out compounds that interfere with mental clarity. Weight that refuses to budge is, of course, one of the most frustrating signs. Even with exercise, a careful diet, and enough water, stubborn fat, especially around the midsection, seems to hold its ground. This is not about lack of willpower. It's about your body prioritizing essential survival functions over fat burning when your liver is working overtime. Lifestyle factors common in modern North American living often feed into this cycle without us even realizing it. That extra coffee to power through the afternoon, the processed snack grabbed between meetings, or the dessert after dinner might seem harmless in isolation. But over weeks and months, they add layers of workload for your liver, keeping it from efficiently processing fats and toxins. The good news is that these early signs can be reversed when you take steps to restore balance. Supporting your liver with nutrient-rich foods, reducing your intake of processed sugars and refined oils, and ensuring proper hydration can create noticeable improvements in energy, skin health, digestion, and even mood. Small, consistent choices can shift your body from a state of quiet struggle to one of renewed vitality. Ignoring these signs, however, means allowing the underlying imbalance to continue, making it harder over time to achieve your health goals. And while the visible effects might seem minor now, the internal strain can influence many other areas of wellness. That's why understanding exactly how a congested liver interferes with your body's fat-burning ability is such a critical step. The next insight is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could also set the stage for health setbacks you'd rather avoid. When you think of burning fat, the liver might not be the first organ that comes to mind. Most people picture muscles working hard during exercise, or perhaps the metabolism speeding up after a workout. But in reality, the liver is one of the key directors of this entire process, and when it's not functioning at its best, fat loss can slow to a crawl. Here's how it works. The liver is responsible for breaking down fats into usable energy and packaging excess fats for removal. It also processes the carbohydrates you eat, determining whether they should be used immediately or stored for later. When the liver is congested, this entire system becomes sluggish. Instead of converting fats into energy efficiently, it stores more of them, especially around the abdomen, where stubborn fat tends to accumulate. There's also the matter of hormone regulation. Your liver helps maintain the balance of hormones that control appetite, energy use, and fat storage. If it's overburdened, these hormones can become imbalanced. For example, higher insulin levels can encourage fat storage, while lower sensitivity to leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, can lead to overeating. This combination is a perfect storm for weight gain, even if you're eating what seems like a reasonable amount. Dietary habits typical in North America accelerate this process. Fast food meals high in trans fats, refined grains, and added sugars keep the liver busy with constant detoxification. Sweetened beverages, whether sodas or flavored coffee drinks, flood the system with sugar, forcing the liver to convert the excess into stored fat. Even something as routine as dining out several times a week can introduce more processed oils and sodium than the body can easily handle. Environmental factors also play a role. The liver filters out not only what you consume, but also what you breathe and touch. Air pollution, chemical cleaning products, and certain food packaging materials add to its workload. Over time, this constant demand means the liver has less capacity to focus on burning fat, a priority that, from a survival standpoint, is secondary to detoxification. The most encouraging part is that this cycle can be interrupted. By reducing processed foods, increasing intake of fresh vegetables, especially those rich in sulfur compounds like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and staying hydrated, you give your liver room to recover. This shift can reawaken your body's natural ability to burn fat more efficiently. Adding regular movement and quality sleep into your routine further supports this restoration, as both influence how your liver processes and stores energy. Reclaiming liver health is not about quick fixes. It's about creating an environment where the body's systems can function as they were designed to. And when you do, fat loss is no longer an uphill battle. It becomes a natural outcome of a balanced, well-supported metabolism. But there's one more step that is absolutely essential, something that can make or break your progress. The next insight is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could also set the stage for health setbacks you'd rather avoid. At this point, you've seen how a congested liver can quietly hold back your body's ability to burn fat, even when you're making conscious efforts in your diet and activity levels. The next step is to focus on one critical action, giving your liver the breathing room it needs to recover and perform at its best. This isn't about harsh cleanses or extreme diets. It's about smart, steady habits that create lasting results. Think of your liver as a dedicated worker in a busy factory. Every processed snack, sugary drink, or heavy fried meal you consume is like dropping another stack of paperwork on its desk. The key is to reduce the unnecessary workload so it can get back to its main job, metabolizing fats, balancing hormones, and keeping your energy steady. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by increasing your intake of vegetables that contain natural compounds to support detoxification. Cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts, are rich in sulfur compounds that assist the liver in processing toxins more efficiently. Leafy greens like spinach and arugula can help improve bile flow, which is essential for breaking down fats. Hydration is another foundational step. Water helps transport nutrients, flush out waste, and maintain the fluid balance your liver depends on. Aim for clean, filtered water throughout the day, and consider starting your morning with a glass before you even touch your coffee. This simple act can gently wake up your digestive system and signal your body to start metabolizing efficiently. Protein also plays a role, but the source matters. Lean proteins like wild-caught fish, free-range eggs, and legumes provide amino acids that support liver repair and regeneration. Avoiding overly processed meats reduces the intake of additives that can contribute to liver stress. Then, there's the question of sugar, particularly the hidden kind found in sauces, flavored drinks, and packaged foods. Excess sugar forces the liver to convert the surplus into fat, often leading to a buildup that's hard to reverse. By replacing sweetened beverages with herbal teas or naturally flavored water, you can cut a significant amount of this burden. You don't need to change everything overnight. In fact, the best results come from sustainable shifts you can stick to long term. Swap a processed snack for a handful of raw nuts. Replace one sugary drink with a glass of water. Add one serving of cruciferous vegetables to your daily meals. Over time, these changes create an environment in which your liver can function optimally, allowing fat-burning processes to come back online. Remember, your liver responds to consistency. Every positive choice is like clearing another pile from that overworked desk. But there's still one more piece. The technique that ties everything together. The final step that can accelerate the results you've been working toward. The next insight is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could also set the stage for health setbacks you'd rather avoid. All the steps we've discussed lead to this moment. The opportunity to give your liver not just relief from its daily overload, but a true boost in function that can unlock your body's natural ability to burn fat and restore vitality. This is where strategy meets precision, because the way you prepare and combine certain foods can make a noticeable difference in how your body responds. One of the most effective natural approaches involves using a combination of specific nutrient-dense foods in the right proportions to support bile production, enhance detoxification, and protect liver cells from oxidative stress. For example, pairing a source of vitamin C, like fresh lemon juice, with a bitter green such as dandelion leaves or arugula can help stimulate bile flow. Bile is essential for breaking down fats, and better bile flow often means more efficient fat metabolism. A safe, practical way to incorporate this is by creating a simple morning tonic. Mix a glass of lukewarm filtered water with the juice of half a fresh lemon and drink it before breakfast. This can prime your digestive system and gently encourage your liver to start its work for the day. Pairing this with a breakfast rich in leafy greens, a small portion of healthy fat, like avocado or olive oil, and a clean protein source can set the tone for steady energy and improved digestion. Now, here's the bonus I promised from the beginning. An ingredient not often discussed in everyday nutrition conversations: artichoke. Artichokes are rich in compounds like cynurin, which can help stimulate bile production and support liver cell regeneration. Steaming fresh artichokes and enjoying them with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon not only delivers these benefits, but also provides a satisfying, nutrient-dense meal component. The important detail is moderation and proper preparation. Overloading on any single ingredient, even healthy ones, can create imbalances. By rotating these supportive foods into your weekly meals and combining them with a balanced diet, you give your liver the environment it needs to thrive without overwhelming it in a different way. As you put these steps into practice, you may start to notice more than just changes in body composition. Many people experience renewed mental clarity, more stable energy, and a greater sense of overall well-being. That's because a healthy liver influences so much more than fat metabolism. It's deeply connected to how you feel every single day. Knowledge like this is powerful only if you act on it. By making deliberate, informed choices, you're not just chasing a number on the scale. You're investing in long-term health that supports every part of your life. Small steps compound into significant change, and your liver will reward you with the energy, resilience, and vitality you deserve. Now that you have this knowledge, use it with consistency and care. Ignoring it won't just hold back your results. It could allow underlying imbalances to persist, shaping your health in ways you may not notice until much later. The choice to act and to act wisely is entirely in your hands.